Everything you own, from the phone in your pocket to your coffee maker, went on this incredible, invisible journey to get to you, a digital journey. But what if that journey has a dark side? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden cyber risks that are embedded in the global supply chain and how they connect all of us in ways you probably never imagined.
Seriously, take a second. Look at your phone or the cup on your desk. You see the finished product, right? But its story? Well, it's a massive global journey. It involves dozens, sometimes hundreds, of different companies, and each one is just a single stop on this long and incredibly complex path.
And here's the thing, that complexity, that sprawling web of connections, that's exactly where the danger is hiding. Every single link in that chain creates a potential backdoor, a hidden vulnerability. And that's not just a problem for giant corporations, it's a risk for every single one of us.
So to really get a handle on the risk, we first have to understand the system itself. What exactly is this invisible network that brings us pretty much everything we use?
It's called the supply chain, and a good way to think of it is like the planet's circulatory system for stuff. It's the whole shebang, the complete process that takes a product from just a raw idea, maybe a sketch on a napkin, all the way into your hands.
Let's just take your smartphone. Its journey starts with minerals literally being mined from the earth. Then, those are sent off to factories to become the chips and screens. Another facility puts it all together, and then another partner comes in to install the software. And finally, a huge global logistics network gets it to a store near you. See? Each step is a separate link in a very, very long chain.
Okay, so here's where the problem really starts to creep in. In our world today, every single one of those links is connected digitally. They're all sharing data, they're sharing software, they're sharing access. And in a chain that long, it only takes one weak link to cause a total catastrophe.
It works just like dominoes. A cyber criminal doesn't have to waste time trying to breach a fortress like Apple or Toyota directly. No way. They just have to find one small, less secure supplier in that whole chain, maybe a tiny software vendor or a parts manufacturer, and just knock that one domino over. The chain reaction from there can be absolutely devastating.
This quote just nails the mindset of modern attackers. They're not just looking for a little flaw in a firewall anymore. They are exploiting the trust between business partners. They're literally hacking the relationships that make our entire global economy work.
So what does one of these attacks actually look like in the wild? Let's walk through a simplified version of how a digital ambush like this is actually set up and sprung.
The approach is just so sneaky. An attacker gets into a small, trusted IT company. Then they hide some malicious code inside a totally routine, legitimate software update. The vendor, who has no idea anything is wrong, then pushes this update to all of their customers. We're talking major banks, hospitals, government agencies. So in one single move, the attacker has used that trusted partner as a Trojan horse, completely bypassing hundreds of security systems at the same time.
And listen, this isn't just some theoretical problem for corporate IT departments. The fallout from these attacks creates very real-world consequences that ripple outwards and, end up affecting all of us.
The scale is just staggering. Researchers estimate that a single targeted attack on a major cloud provider, which is like a key digital hub for thousands of businesses, could set off over $40 billion in global economic losses. To put that in perspective, that's more than the annual GDP of a lot of small countries, all from one breach.
And the cost gets that high because of this amplification effect. A breach of one initial target, it never stays contained. It directly infects maybe hundreds of their clients, and then indirectly impacts thousands more who rely on those clients. The damage just multiplies exponentially all the way down the chain.
And this is how it hits home for you and me. A hacked shipping company? That can mean empty store shelves. A shutdown microchip supplier? That means car manufacturing grinds to a halt. These attacks can cause delays in crucial medical supplies or shortages of the tech we use every day. And almost every single time, your personal data gets caught right in the crossfire. Now, it sounds pretty bleak, I know, but the good news is we are not powerless here. Organizations are actively developing new strategies to fight back and to forge a much stronger, much more resilient chain. You see, for every vulnerability, there's a counter-strategy. Instead of just blindly trusting software from a partner, companies are now doing rigorous code audits. That old model of assumed trust, it's being replaced by something called a zero-trust architecture, where the motto is basically verify everything, always. They're also investing in full supply chain monitoring and building alliances to share threat information in real time.
So, the big takeaway here is really clear. In our connected world, no company is an island. The old fortress mentality, just worrying about your own walls, it's completely obsolete. Security is now a team sport, where every single partner in the chain has to share the responsibility.
And that leaves us with the essential question for our time, doesn't it? The very interconnectedness that makes our modern world so dynamic and efficient is also what creates its greatest vulnerability. It forces all of us to rethink what security really means, and to recognize that strengthening those weak links, well, that's a job for everyone.